Snap. Synopsis. On a boarding school field trip, Percy Jackson's math teacher turns into a horrible monster. But then he vaporizes her with his Latin teacher's pin, which conveniently transforms into a sword. Afterwards, everyone acts like Mrs. Dodds never existed. Percy is almost convinced, except his best friend Grover is a terrible liar. Before going home for summer vacation, he overhears Grover and Mr. Brummer talking about him in a mysterious and cryptic manner. To spend some time away from his smelly, abusive stepfather, Percy's mother takes him to a cabin on the beach. During a big storm, Grover shows up without any pants on. It turns out he's a satyr. They get chased by a minotaur who gets a hold of Percy's mom, and she disappears in a shower of golden light. Angered by his mother's death, he kills the minotaur with its own horn. Grover takes Percy to a summer training camp for demigods. It turns out his Latin teacher is really a centaur and a trainer of heroes. Percy meets some other campers and learns sword fighting from his favorite counselor. After a rousing game of capture the flag, Percy gets attacked by a hellhound and discovers that he is the son of Poseidon, the sea god. Later, he visits the oracle, who tells him a prophecy. You shall go west and face the god who has turned. Find what was stolen and see it safely returned. You shall be betrayed by one who calls you a friend, and fail to save what matters most in the end. He picks Grover and Annabeth to go on the quest with him to recover Zeus's lightning bolt, which Chiron believes was stolen by Hades. A bunch of crazy stuff happens, like beheading Medusa and blowing up the St. Louis Arch and helping the god of war retrieve his shield from the Tunnel of Love. Ares tells Percy that his mother is not dead, but being held captive by Hades. In the underworld, they almost get sucked into Tartarus by a cursed pair of shoes, and it also turns out that Hades did not steal the lightning bolt, and in fact his own Helm of Darkness was also stolen at the same time. Hades believes Percy is the thief. And it doesn't help that Zeus's Master Bolt just happens to be in his backpack, the backpack that Ares gave him. But Hades doesn't believe it, won't release Percy's mom until the Helm of Darkness is returned. Percy fights Ares, gets the helm back, gives it to Mrs. Dodds to give to Hades, flies to New York, returns the Master Bolt, meets his dad, returns home to find his mother safe and sound. Percy goes back to camp, and his mom uses Medusa's severed head to turn her abusive husband into a statue. In the end, it turns out Luke is the friend that betrayed Percy because he was the one that stole the bolt. He's been trying to help the god's Titan father Kronos return to power. Luke tries to kill Percy via Scorpion, but Chiron saves him, and Percy goes back home to live with his mom for the school year. The end.